Deadpool's back after a 2-year break, and this time he's taking everything to the next level.
Don't call it a comeback. I've been here for years. I'm rocking my fears, putting suckers in fear, making the tears rain down like a monsoon. Listen to the bass go.
From the very beginning and its phenomenal opening sequence to the very end with its hilarious after-credit scenes, Deadpool 2 is a fun and enjoyable ride throughout. Almost all of the jokes land, and the few that didn't were mostly because they just kept coming so fast. Now the humor is still crass, which isn't for everyone, but there are definitely a few scenes in the movie that would make anyone laugh regardless of their taste in humor. I never once felt that they took things too far, though it definitely did get close at times, and there were even a few subtle jokes and references tied to the first movie that most people, in my theater at least, didn't even notice. Now the first thing I need to judge is the action, because after all this is still a superhero movie. Now it started off strong, lagged a little bit in the middle, and then finished off much stronger than I thought it would have. As a whole, I'd say it was about as good as you'd expect, with a couple of surprises that kept me engaged. There were a few scenes though where the CGI clearly needed more work, but they weren't bad enough to outweigh the good. Now the acting in the movie was surprisingly solid. Ryan Reynolds, as we all know, is basically the physical manifestation of Deadpool, and he plays the part perfectly. He balances a great mixture of humor and hidden pain, which adds some depth to the character that you'd honestly never expect to be there. Josh Brolin was decent. It's the best way I can put it. Coming from his absolutely stellar performance in Avengers, it was a step down, but it wasn't bad. Nothing memorable, but he didn't do Cable and Injustice. Now the surprise to many, though not to me, was Ricky Baker. Julian Dennison playing the role of Fire Fist. He showed emotion after emotion throughout the film while still being completely believable that he was just a kid way out of his depth. If any of you guys have seen The Hunt for the Wilder People, which you should by the way, great movie, he was in a way just a natural progression of that character. In general, child mutants are very hard to do well in a film due to the emotional baggage that's required by the actor, but Julian Dennison played it great, and I look forward to anything he does in the future. Now when it comes to the plot of the movie as a whole, I definitely thought it was weaker than the first one, which was very focused and narrow. Deadpool 2 runs 9 minutes longer than Deadpool, and it definitely shows not always in a good way. There were times where the scene cuts were jarring and the plot direction was all over the place. That being said though, this is still a Deadpool movie, so throughout all of this you have Deadpool narrating and connecting scene after scene directly to the audience, which is unique specifically to Deadpool, and honestly, it works. It fixes a lot of the issues I had with the pacing just by having him tell me certain things directly. And now as a final point, I'd say that if you're a fan of the X-Men, and especially the concept of anti-heroes in general, you'll also really enjoy this film. It tackles a couple of times the age-old argument of should I kill, should I not, and it does it decently well. Overall, the movie was a blast to watch. It had a few flaws, which movie doesn't, and the humor may not be for everyone. If you didn't enjoy the first movie, and for whatever reason you wanted to watch this one, then I'm sorry, it's not going to change your mind. If you did not enjoy the first movie, you're not going to enjoy this one. That being said, if you did enjoy the first movie, which I know many people did, then you'll be happy to know that you should really enjoy this one too. It follows the same steps, it ramps up certain things, but in the end of the day, it's still a Deadpool movie, and it does it well. If I had to rate the film, I'd give it a solid 7.8 out of 10, but I'd still consider it a must-watch for any comic book movie fans. Thanks for watching my review, guys. If you have any questions or concerns, please let me know, and please rate, comment, and subscribe.